next segment. All right, guys, we got this video between Bryson Gray and Officer Tatum actually kind of going at it a little bit. They disagreed on how Christians should vote this November. I'm really intrigued by it, and I think you guys are going to really find my response very interesting. Check it out.
Against people who criticize and say, Bryson, you claim that you're a Christian, but you support Donald Trump.
Well, I don't support him anymore because of that fact. But typically, when somebody is criticizing you for supporting Trump, and
hold on. I want to make sure I'm clear on this. You say you don't support Donald Trump. We got to talk about that. So
no, sir.
You don't support Donald Trump at all anymore. You want would you vote for him?
I'm voting red down the ballot in Tennessee, but for the general election, I'm probably gonna write in somebody.
You gotta tell me how that occurred. So I want to hear more about that. So because of certain LGBTQ issues or something that Trump did, makes you where you will not vote for him.
It's not even just the LGBT thing, because he was teetering the line with that even beforehand. But it started with the jab, and then I feel like that opened my mind.
Pause
the
it
thing
real
with
quick.
Trump.
Yeah, so Bryson dropped a little bombshell for y'all. If you guys don't know Bryson is a Bible rapper. And then Tatum, he's really good as well. He just lost up at Turning Point USA, Blexit. And they're having this conversation. I saw this, and I was like, I knew I had to react to this because this is going to create a lot more divide than you guys think it will. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's going to start this conversation going, whereas can a Christian really justify voting for what Bryce is about to say? And I think he has a lot of good, interesting things to say. A lot of the comments on this video is very harping on Bryson. A lot of y'all going Twitter, y'all are going crazy on Twitter over Bryson's comments that, what he's about to say. I think a lot of black conservatives need to have this conversation, and Christians as well. Whereas, like, where do you stand with Trump on the ballot? Now, for me, I live in Alabama, so already I feel like I don't even need to say much because I live in Alabama. It's a red state. Trump's going to win it, like, easily. Flying colors, right? Where I would probably have an issue with is living in a swing state in this issue. I would be, like, really considering, like, man, I don't know. But we're going to listen to what Bryson says and what Tatum says. They're going to go back and forth, and we're going to see who we agree with more. Go ahead.
I feel like so many people lie on Trump, and they still lie on Trump. That makes me think everything I disagree with is a lie about Trump, rather than looking and saying maybe this is like legitimate. And after the jab, Trump sort of lost that. For me, he lost that bulletproof vest, where it's like, okay, now I'm actually looking to see what's going on. And the jab was so bad, it's still bad. That's how crazy the jab thing was. And then you toss that in with the LGBT. He hosted. People don't even understand this because he didn't promote it that much, but he hosted LGBT parade, not a parade, but a gala at Mar-a-Lago to celebrate a Joe Biden policy it was codifying the same-sex marriage law or whatever. And it was to celebrate that policy. And Trump spoke and said he's going to do everything he can for the LGBT community. And then, even recently, he just held a fundraiser for with the LGBT, his wife Melania, for Trump campaign. And then they're hosting another one. Again, and to me, that's just so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And then the abortion issue, which was really the last straw for me, because he used to be more pro-choice. Then he said being the president make him become more pro-life. And then the people don't remember, he said literally on the town hall, a CNN town hall, that women that get abortions should be punished. So basically saying it should be illegal. And then he went from that to now saying that people like
pause it real quick. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, like, where he stands on this issue. And I feel like this is the biggest, but I feel like it's the biggest issue. I think he said that he would allow, what's his name, Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, to use whatever restroom he wants in his hotels. I'm just like, bro, what? Like, y'all rocking with that? Like, I think he brings up some valid points, I think he also he was holding up the pride flag in one of the photos that he was in at the Mar-a-Lago. I think he was giving some kind of speech like a couple years ago. And yeah, it's kind of like an L, bro. I don't see how, as a Christian or conservative, you can support something like that. Or even like I said, the vaccine. The vaccine is contrary to everything that we should support. Like, yes, like, it is dangerous to take. I don't know if you guys saw, but literally homeboy Dr. Fauci got caught lying about everything. He made it all up, and somehow he's not in jail right now, which he should be. But I'm gonna let Bryson keep making his point. You go ahead and play it again.
That to now saying that people like DeSantis, and I think DeSantis is soft, but he called DeSantis policy on abortion too harsh. So now he's basically pro-choice. And I mean that's three strikes you out. And then I don't even want to bring up the Jan 6 stuff because that pissed me off. But that pissed me off more on a personal level than I guess a policy level. But everything else.
We'll talk about it. What happened with the January 6 stuff?
Well, here's the thing. We were all out there because we believe that I'm trying to say this in a way that don't get banned, but we believe that our votes.
Pause it real quick. And also, he also called the Arizona one too radical. They had banned abortion in Arizona based off of I think it was a trigger law, and he said it was too radical. I'm like, hang on, you're supposed to be pro-life. Like either you agree with leaving it up to the states and you're pro-life, or you're pro-choice, And so he's criticizing pro-life bills. Why is he not criticizing pro-choice bills? And so, I find that very concerning. That was my last straw too. I'll explain my reasoning after Bryson finishes, but keep going.
We believe our votes weren't counted as they should have been in 2020, and I still believe that, by the way. But when the stuff happened in Jan 6, especially when all the videos came out, Trump actually, his next speech was literally throwing Jan 6ers under the bus. And people act like he didn't have time. He had time to pardon Jan 6ers. As a matter of fact, the MAGA Viking, and he's still supporting Trump, which is like, I hope MAGA cannot turn on him.
Real.
But he's still supporting Trump. But he cried out and said, Trump, we need your help, when they locked him up. And he didn't get it. I performed a benefit concert for him for free to support Jan 6ers. I did that for multiple Jan 6ers. And meanwhile, Trump wasn't doing any of it when he could have. And people try to say he couldn't have, but yes, he could have, because that's the power you have as president. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, a lot of it was crazy.
Yeah, the funny thing is that every point that you made, I agree with you on, except I'd still vote for him. Like, let me just go back. I despise when he pushed the LGBTQ stuff and they got gays for Trump. And, some of these people that are in our movement that'll be, I don't want to drop their names, but I just don't like the stuff, man.
And I think another thing, too, Bryson didn't say was just like this is the thing. There's two sides to it. I mean, he did mention earlier in what he said, but I wish he would have went more into it. Like, people will call us, or people, Christians who maybe wanted to refrain from voting from the guy because, oh, well, you guys are just making up lies about him. You guys are saying all this stuff. And I see where that's coming from, because there's so many people that lie on this man. There's so many people that attack this man viciously that it feels like everything that criticizes him is an attack. But that's not necessarily true. Like, we want the best for Trump. We want the best for anyone in the conservative movement that's leading us and making these changes. And obviously we support Donald Trump above all these other candidates. So my thing is, just because we're criticizing him, just because we have these things to say, including Bryson, it's not coming from a place of hate. It's actually coming from a place of love. We want the best for this country. And we feel like him teetering on these social issues is going to cost us. And it costs him, ultimately. But that's all that matters. And as a Christian, all that matters is being biblical, being true to the word, We're not voting in a pastor or voting in a president. I understand that. And so I'm not asking for a pastor. I am asking for a president. But at the same time, I mean, you're literally wrong on every social issue. I mean, a lot of y'all don't like Joe Biden, not just because he's not good on the economy, but because he's pro-LGBT. He's avidly pro-abortion. He's pro all these other things like foreign aid, and he's anti-Second Amendment, anti-First Amendment, all the things down the list. And then you look at Trump, and he's like all the way down half the list. You're like, well, it's okay because we're going to get money in our pockets, which I agree with y'all. Vote for Trump. I don't have an issue with that. I just think, especially if I'm living in Alabama, it doesn't matter anyway. I think for my conviction, and I think Bryce is going to say later, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'm calling out all these people for their sin. I'm calling out all these people for teetering on these social issues, and then y'all expect me to be silent on Trump. Like, no. I want to hold him accountable just like we should hold anybody else accountable. let Bryson keep on going.
I think you can play in the middle. They got a person called MAGA Queen or Lady MAGA or something like that. An embarrassment. These people are absolute embarrassments to the conservative movement, and they endorse them, which I do not like. Donald Trump screwed the pooch when it comes to the jab. He did. He still pushed it. He still haven't denied it. And I think the mRNA vaccine is probably killing more people than we imagine, or causing so many issues with reproductive systems in women and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I disagree with him on that. I disagree with the way he handled a lot of stuff. January 6th, you're 100% right. He should have pardoned them. He did come out and kind of condemn them when everybody was there because of him. But at the same time, I look at these devils who are Democrats, and I look at the Republican Party and I say, I may not agree with everything, but I may vote for him. Bryson, hold on 1 second. We're getting ready to go to the break. I'm running out of time. I got to have you back because I want to finish this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all hold the phone. Bryson Gray and I'll be back after the break. I have Bryson Gray back with me. Bryson, how do people follow you on social media?
Instagram, Bryson Creates. Twitter, if you like controversy, at Real Bryson Gray. And Bryson Gray on YouTube and BrysonGrayMusic.com for support.
And I have some more stuff I want to talk to you about, Bryson, because
I think Brandon Tatum brings up a lot of good points. He's 100% right. I mean, Trump is the better candidate by every metric, not even close. As far as the economy goes, I think Tatum makes a great point, and that's why I don't criticize anybody when they say I'm voting for Donald Trump. I don't speak out against people who do that because I'm right there with you. You know what I'm saying? But this is where I err on the side of Bryson. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I think Bryson lives in Tennessee, so his vote doesn't matter anyway. Again, mine doesn't matter as much either, so I can easily say, okay, I don't have to do this if I don't want to. Where I will admit to y'all, where I would be hesitant would be the swing state. You know, thankfully I don't live in a swing state. I don't have to make that decision. Just like, yeah, you know, there's like, you know, I'll admit that. But, you know, it's a lot easier for me to say, I'm not going to do it versus someone in a swing state, you know. And so that's where I'm at, like with my head and Bryson as well. Where like, you know, we support conservatism. We are conservatives. We support MAGA. MAGA is bigger than Trump. But ultimately, we have made this decision based on all of these non-negotiables that we have for voting, which is abortion, LGBT, and all this other stuff. Anyway, we'll let it keep going.
Like I said, I think we agree on all this stuff. Stevie Wonder can see that Trump dropped the ball in a few areas, even more so than what we're talking about right now. The only difference is I look at the landscape and I say, if Joe Biden gets back in the office, every single thing that we complain about Donald Trump doing right now, and the whole LGBTQ, the election stuff, the Jan 6ers, I mean, you name it, Christianity, all that stuff is going to get extremely blown out of proportion and worse if Trump don't get in. Do you agree with that, or you see it differently?
In some cases, yeah. In some cases, no. I think we have enough information from the last three presidents to understand where things are going, it's socially or economically. So economically, I believe things will get worse when Biden is in office. Socially, I think it's already getting worse. It got worse when Trump was in office, and it got worse than that when Biden was in office. It's going to get worse because no president is stopping it. So under Obama, like, this is an objective fact. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying that it's because of the person. I'm saying that this is a fact. More teachers were pushing homosexuality in schools in office than they were when Obama was in office. And Obama pretty much spearheaded the LGBT nonsense. Now, you go to Joe Biden, more teachers are pushing homosexuality in schools under Joe Biden than they did under Trump. So why is this? Well, why is it not ever going the opposite way? Because none of them are stopping it. They're not stopping it because, I mean, in reality, they don't plan to stop it. So in that realm, when it comes to Christianity, I think all these presidents are bad for Christianity. I don't think one is going to be more worse than the other, even though the rhetoric may seem more worse than the other one. But I mean, I don't understand the difference between Trump and Biden with the LGBT, except for one may seem more aggressive. Donald Trump said Bruce Jenner can use any bathroom he wants in his house. He said he's going to do everything he can for the LGBT community. I mean, it's just the same rhetoric Biden used. Now, economically, you are correct, which is why I do not get mad when Christians say they're still vote for Trump. I had a conversation about this with Corey Yeshua, because economically, Trump is clearly the better option. I mean, there's no, but for me personally, I'll cut off family members for less than what Donald Trump did. I'll cut out Christian rappers for less than what Donald Trump did. I called out Lecrae for just not answering a question correctly in a TV interview. So I feel like I have to be logically consistent and not be a hypocrite, because being a hypocrite is a terrible thing. So for me personally,
Right.
I gave Trump more strikes than I would give anybody else because I was a Trump fan. I was a real Trump fan. So I gave him more,
Oh yeah.
more grace than everybody else. But sometimes it runs out.
Right, but wouldn't it be this? This is the way I look at Trump, right? Because I don't really know him personally. I like him. I don't like none of the stuff that we said that we had both agreed that he had done. But when I think about the vote, I'm thinking about not voting for a person, right? Trump is not necessarily to get my vote. America is getting my vote.
Pause it.
He's
Pause it.
just
I 100% like, bro. I've given this man chance after chance after chance. I'm just like, dang, bro. Like, what do you want from me? I mean, like Bryson said, I have unfollowed people. I have cut off friends and family for stuff that homeboy supports, and I've given like, bro, like Bryson said, more grace, and that's not how it really should be. But you're so into the movement, and it's like, okay, man, maybe he'll backtrack on it. Maybe he didn't really mean to say that, but then he doubles down on it, and it's like, dang, bro. Again, I don't judge anybody for making that decision for themselves to vote for him. I support you in that. It's just for me, bro. I don't know. I don't know if I can get myself to say to do it. I think Officer Tatum right here is about to maybe put some pressure on Bryson. Let's see what happens.
right, but wouldn't it be this? This is the way I look at Trump, right? Because I don't really know him personally. I like him. I don't like none of the stuff that we said that we had both agreed that he had done. But when I think about the vote, I'm thinking about not voting for a person, right? Trump is not necessarily to get my vote. America is getting my vote. He's just a part of the overall big picture or the avenue or vehicle to get it done. I'm thinking I'm voting for these taxes. I'm voting to secure the border. I'm voting for a lot of things that I think that he as a vehicle can accomplish, because at some point in 4 years he'll be out of there and it'll be someone else's turn. My fear is that if we don't get the policies elected, not the person, but the policies elected, there may be things that may be irreversible. Like when it comes to the Supreme Court, if they somehow find a way to win the House and Senate and the presidency and they pack the Supreme Court, we are going to lose every battle ever created by man. And if they get rid of electoral college, which I don't know how close they are to doing that, if they were to get rid of the electoral college, if they retain power, they will never relinquish power ever again in America, and we will be completely doomed. So mine is, when people have a problem with Trump, there's a means to an end, right? I mean, it's like, let's just get these policies in place. Let's stop the bleeding, and then eventually we can then go back to trying to have a fair evaluation of presidents. Have I convinced you to vote for Trump or not?
No, sir. And the reason why is because even economically, right? Trump is great. Clearly, everybody can experience that when they go to the grocery store. I just left the grocery store, so I understand. But like, inflation is not only Biden's fault. Inflation has a lot to do with the amount of money that Trump spent because of COVID, which I feel like that's why they did the thing with COVID. But he chose to spend a lot of money, which is part of the reason we have such a high inflation right now. And as far as the Supreme Court thing, the Supreme Court, they're not about to overturn Obergefell. So I don't,
Right.
It's like the Supreme Court now, we like them because they did one thing, right? And they left to the states. But then when you look at the other things that they have done, even the Trump appointees, what they have done, it's been terrible stuff. Even immigration. Trump just said that if you graduate college in America, you should get a green card. Everybody, hey, you came in here illegally, but you found a way to graduate college. Hey, you're good.
Nah,
So and a lot of these things, I do feel like Trump is better than Biden. But what I care about the most, really the only thing I care about when it comes to me voting is my faith, because our faith is what's truly under attack. Like, people think
right.
conservatives get banned because they support Trump. Stop it. Call out the LGBT. Then that's when you experience.
Yeah. All right. You can stop it. You can turn it all off too. Here's the deal, y'all. Here's the deal. Okay. A lot of people will hate this video that Bryson Gray and Officer Tatum did, this interview. a lot of people are gonna unfollow Bryson Gray. A lot of people are gonna unfollow probably me for this video. I mean, I don't care, whatever. If y'all really get that emotional over it, whatever. But a lot of people are gonna get really mad. But here's the thing, bro. We're not your enemy. We're the people that want the best for the movement, and we feel like the wrong direction is compromising on these social issues. What good is it to have a good economy if babies are getting aborted, if children are getting preyed on in schools, if LGBT people are rampant everywhere, literally everywhere you see a pride flag? Again, it's all about morality and what is really best for our society, you know? You can have a great utopia with great economy, with everything like that, but what good is that if everybody's going to hell, everybody hates Jesus, everybody hates what's good, and everybody's just liberal? Like, who cares, you know? And so that's where I'm coming from on this. I think it's time that the conservative movement we move past all this traditional Republican stuff where we just care about the economy and we ignore everything else. Like, oh, wow, wait, we have great taxes now. Wow, great. We need to move past that and start moving the battleground towards these social issues and holding our leaders accountable. The left does it. I'd like to see Joe Biden come out here and be pro-life at all. See what they do to him. I'd like to see Joe Biden come out here. They already did to him when he supported Israel. The Palestine people might cause him to lose that election, which is great. I would love for that. But literally, if you're a Democrat leader, you cannot compromise at all on the left, or they will kick you out. Look what happened to RFK Jr., right? Look what happened to, what's that girl's name? Tulsi Gabbard, right? Look what happened to these people that somewhat just called out a little bit on the left. They were ostracized and they attacked them. They held them accountable because they're consistent. The left will stand on business, whereas the right, we're like, okay, we're sorry we hurt your feelings. We'll give you gay marriage. Oh, I'm sorry we hurt your feelings. We'll leave it up to the states. We'll let you kill we'll let you kill your child in California. You know, it's like, how conservative are you, and what are you even conserving at that point? So that is my hot take of the week. Yes, I agree with Bryson Gray, and I also agree with Officer Tatum. Tatum makes a lot of good points. I like both of these guys. I look up to them a lot. And that's why I wanted to react to this video. This is honestly how we should be having this conversation. Tatum agrees with Bryson. Bryson agrees with Tatum, but they disagree on the outcome of it. That's okay, but at least we're acknowledging it. You know, a lot of y'all don't even want to acknowledge, like, okay, this man is pro-choice, pro-LGBT, pro-vaccine, which are, like, again, that's probably my top three. Maybe besides, like, illegal immigration. That might be my top three, though. I ain't gonna lie. You know, so I mean, come on, you know, I can't vote for that, you know. But anyway, that's that. I'm going to let y'all comment down below. Go check out the original interview with Bryson Gray and Officer Tatum. Leave your comment down below there, too. I would highly recommend following both of them. I look up to both of them biblically and just as an overall content creators. They do great stuff. Bryson Gray makes good music, and Tatum does good stuff with Blexit and Turning Point, and he also has his own stuff. So go check them out. But anyway, that'll be it for that. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and God bless. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and X. And be sure to hit that follow button and that join button if you're here on Rumble. It'll take you over to our local channel where you can further support the show and get access to additional content. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and that like button. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you're listening on, give us a 5-star rating and share with your friends and family. Again, thank you guys so much, and God bless.